Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys checking today's video out. Always very grateful for that. Guys, today we're going to be talking about what I call the pumping technique for a lipless crankbait here. Now actually, if you guys are interested in finding out more about these lipless crankbaits, I just did a hour-long seminar on lipless crankbaits on my other channel, Advanced Bass Fishing with Randy Blockett. I'll put the link in the description if you want to check that out. But one of the things I'm talking about here is the pumping technique with a lipless crankbait, which is a really good way to catch bass. Now, if you're not familiar with it, guys, like I said, I try to always remember that I'm trying to keep the fishing teacher, videos more for the people that are starting out. But a lipless crankbait is basically just what it says. There's no plastic lip on a crankbait, on the lipless crankbait, like there is on a traditional crankbait. The lip is actually molded into part of the body here, and this creates a really tight vibration. It's like most of them have rattles in it like that. They're pretty loud, and when you reel it through the water, it's got a really tight vibration on it, and it's a highly effective lure, especially in some colder water months. But most people, when they fish a lipless crankbait, they just reel it right through the water like that and let the lure, impart the action itself. But one of my favorite ways to fish this that doesn't get fished very much is what I call pumping a lipless crankbait. It's really easy to do. All you have to do, guys, is just throw it out there, where you're fishing at, just on the area that you're fishing, and let it go to the bottom. And when it hits the bottom, just pump it off the bottom, maybe a foot or so. So actually when you're pumping it, the bait's coming down, it hits the bottom, you're pumping it off the bottom and letting it fall back down. Now just do that, just cast it out there, let it go to the bottom, pump it off the bottom, let it settle back down to the bottom, pump it off the bottom again, let it settle back down. And there's gonna be two ways that the fish hit this. The first way is as soon as you start to pump it up, as it starts up, they're gonna grab it on the way up. And the other time is when it's falling, they're gonna hit it as it's falling. Now, when they hit it, when you pump it up, you're gonna feel them just like that. But when they hit it, when it's falling, you're not gonna feel it, but you'll just see your line twitch like that. Now, the places and times that you wanna fish this is normally in the little bit cooler weather months. So my favorite time to do the pumping technique is when the water temperature is in the 50s. Now it can be in the 50s in the springtime of the year, or it can be the 50s in the fall time of the year, but I'm not really sure why that is. It's just one of those, mysterious things about bass fishing. But when the water's in the 50s, that is when I go to the pumping technique. Now also, guys, I'll give you a couple little tips on the lipless crankbait. This is right here. This is what's called a rattle trap here. If you guys aren't familiar with the rattle trap, it's one of the most famous lipless crankbaits, but it's not a very good pumping lipless crankbait because it falls super slow. I would recommend going to more like either the Megabass Vibration X or the Yozuri Rattling Vibe, or that the Strike King, I think it's called the Wild Eyed Shad. All these lures, they fall a little bit quicker, and there's just something about those that they'll generate, a lot more strikes than the other type of lures. Also, guys, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description for lipless crankbaits if you guys want to use that link and get you some. That's a good deal. But anyway, guys, it's just another twist to add to your arsenal. It's like so much of fishing, when you're talking about like crankbaits or jerkbaits and fishing, a big part of generating strikes on it is the retrieve that you use, the cadence and the pace, and how fast and how slow you reel the lure, or how you stop it and start it. And a lot of times you just find that out by experimentation. There's not one situation that works every time. But thing to remember, guys, is just experiment with your retrieve. Try the pumping retrieve because it does work really good at certain times of the year, and it just will add up to some really good fish for you guys if you guys just experiment and try those different type of retrieves and cadences. So hope it helps out. We'll talk later.